In the early 40s, pictures of beautiful women known as pinup models became popular with WWII soldiers. They decorate their lockers, walls, and wallets with pictures of beautiful actresses like Marilyn Monroe and Betty Grable. Keep watching to learn about classic pickup models of the 1950s who are still irresistible. Bettie Page. Bettie Page was born April 22, 1923. Her family never stayed in one place, and her parents divorced when she was 10. She and her sisters needed to stay in an orphanage for a year, and she was sexually abused by her father. Her difficult childhood couldn't stop her dreams, though. She was an excellent student and graduated from Peabody College. Her adult years were as nomadic as ever until she came to New York and enrolled in acting classes. Betty met Jerry Tibbs in 1950. He was a police officer and photographer who put together the portfolio that would change her life. Betty started modeling and was dubbed the Queen of Pinups. She was both sexual and demure and inspired models who came after her. She also set the stage for the sexual revolution of the 1960s with her daring and self-assured shots. The biggest shock was when Betty retired in 1957. She was struggling with her mental health and even threatened her family members and acquaintances with knives. Years of soul-searching led her to become a born-again Christian. She offered occasional interviews in her later years, but refused to be photographed. She died of a heart attack at age 85, December 11, 2008. Betty Grable. Elizabeth Ruth Grable was born December 18, 1916. Her mother pushed her into Hollywood when she was 13. It didn't take long for the world to notice her beauty. She was featured in the most popular piece of pinup art in WWII in 1943. She posed in a white bathing suit and heels. The shot was taken from the back because she was visibly pregnant. That didn't make the image any less popular. 20th Century Fox produced 5 million copies to distribute to the troops, and even German and Japanese soldiers were rumored to clamor for a copy. They also voted her as the one they wanted on their bomber planes. She even auctioned off her nylons to boost morale. 20th Century Fox knew how valuable she was and insured her legs for $1 million each, and they left a permanent imprint in front of Hollywood's Chinese Theater in 1943. Betty's success lasted beyond the war and made her the most highly paid woman in America. She was a major draw in Technicolor musicals and earned an estimated $30,000 a year. Her career continued to rise until the 1950s when conventional musicals went out of style and another pinup bombshell, Marilyn Monroe, hit the scene. They starred together in How to Marry a Millionaire in 1953. Betty moved to stage and nightclubs in the 60s and 70s. She worked until months before her last days. She died of lung cancer at age 56 on July 6, 1973. Rita Hayworth. A photo of Rita in a black negligee went across the Pacific to the Hawaiian military in 1941. It made her the second most popular pinup model of WWII. Her brothers were soldiers, so she also helped the war effort by selling bonds and appearing at USO shows. She dyed her hair strawberry blonde to avoid being typecast in Hispanic roles. She appeared in over 61 films over a 37-year career. Rita Hayworth died May 14, 1987. Jayne Russel. Ernestine Jane Geraldine Russel was born June 21, 1921. She was the only girl among 4 brothers and had a mother who encouraged her to go into acting and music. She took piano lessons and studied at Max Reinhardt's workshop in Los Angeles. The spotlight didn't shine on her immediately. She was a 19-year-old receptionist at a chiropodist's office when Howard Hughes discovered her. Betty Grable may have been the girl with the $1 million legs, but Jayne Russel was the sweater girl. Her photo showed her lying on a pile of hay and holding a revolver. The troops took a liking to her. The Navy voted her the girl they'd most like to have waiting for us in every port in a 1943 poll. The shots were considered too risque. Her first film, The Outlaw, was almost pulled from theaters because of how much cleavage she showed. She signed a 7-year deal with Howard that earned her roles in successful films like Gentlemen Prefer Blinds. She also starred in a few box office bombs. She shifted to television, stage, and nightclubs. She became a born-again Christian later in life, but never felt her former sex symbol status conflicted with her religion. She famously told an interviewer, quote, "Christians have bosoms too, you know." Jane Russel died of respiratory failure at age 89 on February 28, 2011. Veronica Lake. Constance Frances Marie Ockelman was born November 14, 1922. Her life followed the common theme of pinup girls, with a mother who wanted her to get into show business. Her family moved to Beverly Hills after she completed high school. They enrolled her in the Bliss Hayden School of Acting. It became clear she had the talent and beauty to become a massive star. She began getting roles in the early 40s and was given her stage name by producer Arthur Hornblow. He said Veronica represented her classic features and Lake represented the coolness of her eyes. Veronica was one of the shortest of the classic pinup models of the 50s at only 4'11". That didn't make her any less popular with the troops. She traveled selling war bonds. She even changed her hairstyle to one that other women could wear while working without getting caught in machines. Her acting career was short but memorable. She developed a reputation for being difficult to work with and began to struggle with alcohol addiction. She worked odd jobs, such as being a hotel barmaid in between gigs during the 50s and 60s. Veronica Lake died of renal failure and hepatitis at age 50 on July 7, 1973. Her ashes allegedly sat at a funeral home for 3 years before they were identified. Jayne Mansfield. Vera Jane Palmer was born April 19, 1933. Her father died when she was 3, and she moved with her mother to Dallas when she was 6. Her childhood was pleasant but short. She married 20-year-old Paul Mansfield when she was 17 and had a baby girl soon after. She took odd jobs to support her family, but always dreamed of becoming an actress. Jayne convinced her husband to move to Hollywood in the early 50s. She struggled to get her start, and it strained their marriage. They separated, but she decided to keep his last name. She signed with Warner Brothers in 1955. She tried every form of entertainment, including film, TV, the stage, and of course, pinup modeling. She was never afraid to share her curvy measurements, 40, 22, 35. She was considered the naughtier version of Marilyn Monroe, who didn't appreciate the comparison and even wished she had the means to take her to court. What Jayne reportedly did keep hidden was her genius IQ of 160. It would have ruined the stereotype of the dumb blonde that helped to make her famous. Her first marriage was only the beginning of her strained love life. She was married 3 times, had 5 children, and had a reported fling with Anton LaVey. Jayne was killed in a car accident when she was only 35 years old on June 29, 1967. Her daughter Mariska Hargitay is now a successful actress herself. She once said her mother was ahead of her time and that she shares her appetite for life. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was born Norma Jean Mortensen, June 1, 1926. She became one of the most famous pinup models and actresses of all time, but had a difficult childhood. Her mother was schizophrenic, and she had no relationship with her birth father. She married James Doherty when she was 16 as a way to get out of the orphanage she was in, but it didn't last long. Her life turned around when he went to the South Pacific during World War II. A photographer discovered her at the munitions factory where she worked. Norma divorced James and signed a film contract with 20th Century in 1946. That's when she dyed her hair blonde and called herself Marilyn Monroe, taking her grandmother's last name. Her most famous roles include films like Some Like It Hot and The 7-Year Itch. The money from these hits only lasted so long, so she shot nude photos for a calendar. She felt that, quote, nice girls did not pose in the nude, but she was desperate for money. She died at age 36 in 1962 from an overdose of barbiturates. Theories about whether or not she was murdered are still debated. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite pinup star? Let us know in the comments section below.